Hey guys, Artosis here with the CasterMuse Star League Season 4. This is from the round of 16 in Group C, and it's a best of one between Snow and Sacsri. Alright, this is kind of an interesting match. I think that Sacsri, and I say this about several pros, I know, but it's really true. There's some very undervalued pros, I think, that are quite strong players, but don't get talked about so much because they don't have the super deep runs, but they're like very, very good. And Sacsri is one of them. This is a guy that, like, for instance, he's someone that has taken a map off of Flash in ASL, which is not something many people can say. But he's kind of an intelligent Zerg. I think he leans a little bit more towards aggression. He actually had a good stint as a StarCraft 2 pro for a bit. Won a DreamHack, if I recall correctly, over there. Came back to StarCraft 1, and I think he's a very good Zerg. He's a very solid player overall. And then, of course, his opponent, though, this is someone that really doesn't need much introduction. Definitely one of the most popular pro gamers in the world. It's Snow, you know, and Snow he was known for a very long time for his Protoss versus Terran, and then actually how poor his Protoss versus Zerg was. But he's fixed the Protoss versus Zerg problem. There was actually a period in time where he lost every PvZ professionally played for like a really, really long time. It was actually almost a meme. But he came back and he's very strong PvZ now, although I think you still have to look at his Protoss versus Terran and Protoss versus Protoss as being a bit stronger. And he's also someone that's been like a runner-up a whole lot, right? He lost in ASL finals multiple times, losing to Flash, losing to Rain, who are like basically unbeatable, right? Like Flash in general, and then Rain in PvP. So it's been a tough road for him. He doesn't have that big championship yet, but definitely one of the best Protosses out there. Now, the map is Windbreak Ridge, so I guess we should talk about that. As you can see, these bones are buildable. It looks like a Forge expansion here from Snow. The spore that you see, this is a neutral spore, and this will allow, when this hatchery opens up, the creep, basically this will generate creep. It'll, like, this creep will reach that, or this will generate creep. You can look at it either way. And that'll allow, if he needs it, sunken colonies and other buildings and things to be put up here. Of course, the NORAD 2 that you see just makes this ramp a little bit smaller, and later game, oftentimes, will get cleared out so that it's quicker to run up and down the ramps. So Snow with a pretty safe opener here. The Forge expansion into the gateway. And Sacsri, I mean, he's just chasing the probe right now. It looks pretty standard. He has his third hatch coming up already at the third base. This is a base without gas, but that's fine. Zerg is not gas starved in this matchup. And yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary here. Pretty standard opener. I guess one thing we should talk about is in the center there are some eggs, and what these basically do is allow a quicker scout, and of course, like, Zerglings and Zealots and things can get through there, but some of your bigger units, like, let's say an Archon, a Siege Tank, an Ultralisk and stuff, aren't going to fit through this area. So yeah, you might want to end up killing this to kind of help pathing, but it makes bigger armies take longer ways around, but still a quick rush distance if you did want to do something quickly. So definitely an interesting map. It has a lot of high to low ground switches in it, which oftentimes are important areas for fights, basically, right? You're always stronger if you're on those high grounds, but you can walk around them as well. And there's some interesting expansions towards the bottom of the map as well that hopefully we'll see those take, and hopefully this won't be too quick of a game. All right, first Zealot popping out. That's going to go across the map. Always a nice play if your opponent isn't making too many lings. Can help you get some more scouting done. You can see here that the creep did extend all the way down here, even though you can't even see it. Normally, the creep is basically, it's always within the vision of the hatchery, but it can jump to buildings like that. All right, layer is going to be finishing. We still don't see a Hydralisk Den, so nothing too cheesy. Definitely a Spire going to be made right away here from Sacsri. There it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean mutas. That can just mean that you're getting a few Scourge out to push back the Corsairs of your opponent. Now, the first Zealot is down here now, and some Lings do have to go chase it. It takes 4 Zerglings to kill off that Zealot. So he makes 6 total, so he can continue to chase down the probe. Does have that Zergling speed upgrade. So the probe gonna end up falling. Yep, he's killed the probe now, and the Zealot doesn't have much longer either. Only gets a single kill there. So far, so good here for Sacsri. Now over in Snow's base, looks like he's getting the Citadel pretty quickly. Does have that second gas. So without +1 on the way, but the quick Citadel, I think we're gonna see very quick Dark Templars, which he can utilize because he'll push Overlords around with these Corsairs, which are getting the +1 attack as well. And yeah, just to make that clear, right? Sometimes you see a quick Citadel to get legs to match with the +1 attack for the Zealots, which allows them to hit Zerglings. And oftentimes you'll see that maybe without such a quick second gas, and that's like a more mineral-heavy pressure, whereas the Dark Templar, you know, it's a different brand of opener in Protoss vs. Zerg. Now, taking a look over on Sacsri's side of the map, he does have a macro hatch coming up here, and that it makes a kind of nice SimCity where it's harder for Zealots to get into the drone line. We also have the Hydralisk Den coming up, pretty standard stuff. Here's an evolution chamber for that +1 missile attacks and a spore if he needs it. And another hatchery as well. So we're going directly into 5 hatchery play, probably 5 hatch Hydra behind this, maybe 6 hatch. 6 hatch is relatively popular as well. Has a couple overlords in the bottom corner, which is interesting. And of course you see the Scourge out, right? The Corsair flies in right before the Scourge hatches, gets a scout on what's going on, and then the Scourge pop out and chase the Corsair home until you hit enough Corsairs to kill Scourge. So this is all kind of the to and fro, the back and forth of an early and a mid-game Protoss versus Zerg. Now here comes that first DT. He's coming out, and I don't think he'll find anything quite yet because the Corsairs don't really have any sort of map control yet. See the Zerglings running back. He knows that the DT is coming. Ooh, almost gets that. Not quite. DT gonna walk around. It looks like it glitched there a little bit. It might actually not fit. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, DT coming towards the natural, but you see there are some overlords here. Okay, this spore does not detect for anyone. I know it says detectors. That's a that's like a neutral spore. Yeah, good spread of Hydras and Lings. Here comes that 6th hatchery. We have the +1 missile attacks on the way. Some more gates coming up for Snow, as well as Psystorm. Very, very important. And this has been like about as standard an opening in this matchup as you can get on both sides. This is the most vanilla opening, basically, that you're going to see. The DT hasn't gotten any damage. Ling's got no damage. The Zealot got no damage. The Scourge got no damage. The Corsairs got no damage. It's just... they basically both opened perfectly against each other, right? If your opponent plays perfectly, you're not going to get damage, but you're also not going to take it. Now, the DT... Ooh, he's really trying to chase him down with that Overlord speed. Cutting down some Lings. Is he going to get him? Oh, the Overlord coming around the side. This is a crazy chase right now. He's trying to block it from running. Is this DT going to get away? No, it's not. Chased down by Sacsri. I guess we can call that the first damage of the game. The DT not really doing that much, but at least he knows exactly what's going on. And honestly, he has Psystorm, he has his Zealots, he's getting his upgrades. Everything's looking fine. You notice he has cleared out that NORAD too, so he has a bit more flow getting in and out of his base. Very important. The Scourge coming in for a little bit of a scout. Still some more Corsairs being made. It looks like he's going to be going up to at least 6. He already has that +1 air attacks as well, so he's going to be two-shotting Scourge. This is kind of a number where you're not as afraid of Scourge because you can kill them before they hit you a lot of the time. Now, Lurker's actually running up. Ooh, this is kind of a neat move from Sacsri that I missed him going for, and the Robo just started, see? So when you get into a position like this, basically, the only detection that Protoss has to deal with this, you can't creep cannons up to it or something, so you have to get observers. So this is highly annoying for Snow. It'll give some hits on Zealots as they run out, but that's not really the big thing. It's more like, you can't take this area. You can't take this third base right now. Look at that, another burrowed Lurker. Anywhere there's a burrowed Lurker, you can't really fight. But notice, as he unburrows, Snow turns around, dives on top of the Hydras. The Lurker burrows, has to run away. That splash damage just too critical against these Zealots. So the Zealots right now not really finding any damage. In fact, being caught here by Sacsri. He's trying to run away through these eggs. Look at this. The Hydra actually came up to try to stop them and turned into a Lurker egg there and block them in. Didn't quite work out. He is trying to go after the Overlords, picks one off. But overall, I have to say, Sacsri is playing so cleanly here. These Zealots not able to do anything. He's headed them off at every single pass. But here they go down to the 4th base. Now 12 drones being sent down to mine. Can he get damage done there? It doesn't look like it. Sacsri's hot on the trail, chasing them down. Now the Corsairs look like they're going to maybe roam a little bit, see if they can kill Overlords or something while the Hydras are busy. But yeah, that was a large group of Zealots. I want to say it was at least 12 that moved out on the map, and they found no damage, nothing, zilch, nada. Kind of crazy, actually, how well Sacsri dealt with that. His macro play looking very, very strong here. Look at this. He's got double evolution chamber, +2/+1 on the way. Finally, we do have some observers coming out and some dragoons as well. So Snow will clear this area. He's got a very healthy probe count. He definitely wants to take a 3rd base coming up. Notice the probe has come down now that he's cleared those lurkers. Finally gets to make it. Some lurkers burrow outside of these bridges. Going to be very hard for him to attack over there. But he's getting a very good army. He's got the +1 attack. He's got Psystorm, he's got Dragoons and Zealots and some Observers in here as well. So he definitely has an army that can start to fight now. A lot of Dragoons being made. Take a look at the gateway count. Looks like he has 8 total. So that's some very good production coming out of Snow right now. Now he is coming around this area rather than over the bridges. And as he clears out this frontal area, he can actually reinforce a lot more quickly over these bridges now. As you see, brings out the rest of his army. And he's pushed Sacsri back quite a bit. The Corsairs still running around doing their thing. Of course, just the fact that they still exist is powerful because that prevents him from going mutas and kind of catch him off guard with that a lot of the time. We have a ton of Overlords stacked up in one area. Really a lot of Overlords. I wonder, like, maybe this is just because he doesn't want the Corsairs to hit them. He puts them all in the same spot. But this is a pretty darn big army from Sacsri. He is macroed like a fiend. Look at that, 142 against 154. Generally, when you get close in supplies to Zerg, they're generally winning. Because Zerg units are way more supply efficient than Protoss or Terran units. Hydras are 1 supply, Zerglings are a half supply. So, anyways, Snow starts to attack up, but the high ground lurker is pushing him back. He backs up, and as these Hydras come in, and the flank comes as well, some great Psystorms coming down, and he just massacres army there. Snow losing almost nothing, but killing off a lot of what Sacsri had. Corsairs still to the side. Let's take a look. What is Sacsri's game plan here? It really looks like he's just producing Ling Lurker Hydra at the moment. It seems like Ling Lurker is mostly what he wants to go for here, and he does have enough hatcheries to kind of back it up. Hive on the way, so he can get into that Adrenal upgrade, which is so important. But if he's going to be going for heavy Lings, the +1 melee attack is a very important upgrade, and he does not have that yet. That's 20% extra damage on Zerglings, so I definitely want to see him start that. But Adrenal on the way, as well as the Defiler Mound. Snow pressuring here at the bridge. Don't forget, he is expanding at home as well. He has 3 bases, going for that 3rd gas as well. Some great storms over the ramp. But honestly, like, even if he's getting some good storms here, probably can't attack over the ramp. Because you get too bottlenecked, you get up against the walls and everything, and you just can't stop the incoming damage. So I feel like Sacsri's defense is good. If we zoom out here for a moment, you can see, right, the bridges are hard to attack over, so this area makes more sense, but he's got a great spread of lurkers over here. This is the majority of his lurkers, only a couple over in this area. So let's see if Snow can break up. He's coming over with these Dragoons, throwing some storms down, but the spread of the lurkers is good. There's very few lurkers that can actually be hit 2 at a time by Psystorms. Does find one of those areas, but they do get unburrowed and split up. Snow continuing to try to push, making an Archon, backing up a little bit here, and Ling's starting to flow over. These are +1 Zealots, but the +1 Carapace and Lings does make them 3 hits again, so they can fight reasonably well. Kind of surprised we don't see an armor upgrade from Snow. We actually do see +2 on the way. And he did make a second forge, but looks like he forgot to get it rolling. Okay, Snow continuing to rally down to this area. He's definitely got good vision of what's going on, right? These are the... We can see on this one screen all of the areas Zerg can get out of, so it's either drops, flying units, or out this way for Sacsri. So Snow has actually got insane map control right now. We definitely have to give it to him for that. Another great Psystorm. And he's just being as efficient as he can. It's actually amazing to watch Snow in this position because they were very close in supply, and Snow keeps going up, and Sacsri, he can't even get back to what he was originally at so far. Now, some Adrenalings coming out right now, going after the High Templars. They do snap one off. Threeling's going to run away, and that's all the units he has on the map now. I don't think they're going to be able to get much done. A single cannon can kill those off. They are headed towards that top right, so actually might get there before the cannon is done. That would be kind of funny. Keep an eye on that as those Lings get in. Yeah, look at that. The Lings deal damage so quickly to Protoss buildings. I mean, they might actually even do something to this base. Are those going to be the 3 hero Lings of this game? More Lings trying to run out and around the Protoss army, and they do make it out. These Lings trying to go after the Nexus, but looks like Snow will reinforce with some Zealots here, but more Lings going. I think Sacsri sniffed blood in the water right there. Oh, and now that Zealots are up in this area, he actually attacks into the 3rd gas base. Picks off that cannon very quickly, but we might be at the end of this little bit of Ling harassment. Okay, taking a look, we have Consume done. I definitely caught that in the corner of my eye here, which means Defilers are going to be the next thing coming out here for Sacsri. Defilers, so scary. He's going to want to hit Plagues with them upon this army, and that hurts Protoss so badly. It's just such a powerful spell in general. Now, Snow pushing once again, and this is not a big enough army to actually push through, but it's big enough to be scary. It's big enough to force you to use some units to clear it, and that's where he's getting his Psy Storms that are just so valuable here. Some more Storms going down. Just killing off what he can. Snow keeping pretty much a maxed supply throughout. He already has that +2 attack, +3 on the way, and I just saw him add another Robo. Where did he put that down? Looks like it's maybe up at this expansion. So that'll be for Reavers for defense against Defilers. You know, a lot of times Zergs like to run up to a base like this, throw down a Dark Swarm on the cannons, and just kill everything with Lings. But since Snow will be making some Reavers up there, he should be pretty safe against that move, even though it's still pretty strong. All right, it is time to see what this Defiler is going to do. A very important part of the game coming up. A Dark Storm goes up over here, so the Dragoons can't clear it, but some good size storms are starting to hit. The Morphing Lurker Eggs actually stopping him from getting into this area. Another storm goes down on a Lurker right there. But when you run out of storms, this won't work as well. Now look at this, a flank from Sacsri coming around the side. Dark Storm goes up. Archons, don't forget, they don't do full damage in the Dark Swarm, so a good move from Sacsri, and it looks like his Ling Hydra Swarm with Defiler backup is going to be enough to clear this out. Snow's containing army finally will be killed off. Now, that being said, Sacsri did have to spend a lot to finally kill it. Look at that, 33 kills on that Archon, 9 kills on this High Templar. Snow has a lot of units in the center. He is still macroing up heavily. He's getting into some Reaver tech as well. We'll see if he uses any of those offensively also. But a lot of Zealots, a lot of High Templars being added. A ton of Lurkers coming through the center of the map right now. Zealots trying to get on top of them. Of course, Lurkers can be very good against Zealots, especially when you're throwing these Plagues down. But he gets some clutch Storms right there. And withdraws with the rest of his units for now. Looks like he might be going out the short way through the eggs. Either way, going to back up. Sacsri starting to take control of the map a little bit. He's got an insane economy right now. His macro really starting to flow. Some more Psy Storms coming down. Snow needs to keep hitting these storms. It's such an important part of his attacks. Great Psy Storm down on the double Lurker, killing them both off. More Hydras and Lurkers trying to break onto this high ground against Snow. And oh my god, it looks like Sacsri will take this area over, which means Snow has to back all the way up. And if Snow has to back all the way up, it's going to be really hard for him to defend everything. So he's actually rallying over what he gets while he gets it, trying to retake this hill outside. But as the Dark Storm goes down and 3 more Lurkers push forward, his mostly Dragoon-based army does have to retreat. Now, he's stuck over at his 3rd base. Here's his 4th, here's his 5th. Luckily, he does have some Reavers here, but he has to hold 2 important areas, right here and right here. This is basically the reverse of what we've seen all game so far. Sacsri bringing it to Snow now with this Defiler tech instead of the Psy Storms that Snow was using before. Now, a good Plague goes down on these goons. It's going to make them very, very weak. Those Plasma Shields not so useful against things like Cracklings. And it looks like Sacsri getting ready for a big push. Let's see if Snow has the storms needed. Throws down a beautiful storm there. Another one on those lurkers that are too close together. Gonna be able to kill those off immediately. Oh my god, these storms are immense. And Sacsri continues to push, spreading those lurkers out. Still more units coming up. He has a ton of units over here. I'd love to see him do a little bit of a reinforce. He's very close to breaking through this area. Another storm goes down on these lurkers. Pushing forward, another dark swarm. Snow's army having a very hard time right now, being pushed to the brink. Wow, some great storms once again. He might be able to just clear it as some zealots come out as well. Just unlimited size storms, it feels like, but more and more lurkers being morphed from Sacsri. Snow maintains a big supply, and in fact, looks like he's killing off some overlords during this. So he actually is going to supply block Sacsri. That might help him to stop the reinforcements from coming up so quickly. But Sacsri continuing to push. He has a lot of lings and lurkers up here. Pushing forward, the cracklings getting on top of everything with their +1 attack upgrade. Going to do well against 0 armor upgrades. That is for certain. Snow still trying to push this back. He cannot let this area be divided up all the way, or Sacsri will have his choice of what bases to kill. Now Snow coming out onto the high ground, throwing down some great storms. Still during all this, look at the supply, 111 of 97. These Corsairs might be the key. If Snow wins this game, it's going to be heavily due to these Corsairs staying alive all game and coming in during this all-out attack, killing off so many overlords. Now Sacsri is making more. He wants to macro up and continue this reinforcement. He needs this push to end up working. All right, Burrows, way more lurkers, more dark storms coming down. The Dragoons almost worthless. The Archons losing their main attack, only the splash dealing damage underneath it. Zealots coming forward, but having a hard time against this many lurkers. The Size Storms don't, though. Size Storms forcing him back. And it looks like Snow has regained his side of the map. He's at 200 supply. He's got 4 gases, and that's pretty darn good. Looks like he wants to take another base as he retakes this area. Let's take a look how Sacsri's doing, right? Oh my god, this DT. He killed off all the overlords in the area, and Sacsri doesn't even hear it. Finally notices that all of his drones are falling, but not before losing 12. A gigantic DT from Snow. Now, Sacsri has taken another base. His drone count is still okay. He can still, like, remake these drones and try to fight back. But it's getting a little bit hard. Snow's coming across the map right now. Let's take a look what else he has. Yeah, he's staying on that tech. It's really all about... Oh, my God, a Reaver drop. The 23-minute Reaver drop here at the new base. The DT coming up to help as well. Is he going to be able to kill off this hatchery? That would be insane if he actually ends up getting it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. He will just save it there. Oh, no, he's going to just lose it there. Never mind. The Zealots did not get cleared in time. And that is a solid kill from Snow, who, by the way, during all this, rushing over the bridges, storms as well, and Snow wins an epic game against Sacsri.